You see it happening every single day. The coworker who somehow keeps climbing the ladder while doing the absolute bare minimum. They roll in late, leave early, take long lunches, and somehow their name keeps coming up in promotion conversations, while you, the one actually carrying the team, keep getting passed over. It is infuriating. It feels deeply unfair, and it might be the most frustrating dynamic in the modern workplace. Hey, I'm Dre, and on this channel, we talk about the unwritten rules of work and money that nobody bothered to teach you. The stuff that actually moves the needle on your career and your bank account. And today, we are pulling the curtain back on something that has been driving you absolutely insane. Because here is the uncomfortable truth. The slacker in your office is not getting promoted by accident. They are not lucky. They are not riding on someone's coattails. They have cracked a code that most hardworking people will never figure out. And once you understand the 3 secrets they are using, you will never look at your job the same way again. So if you want to stop being the workhorse that nobody promotes, smash that like button and let's get into it. The first secret these people have figured out is that visibility beats volume every single time. Let me say that again because this one took me years to internalize. Visibility beats volume every single time. You have been operating under an assumption that was sold to you in school, in college, and by your parents. The assumption that if you just work harder than everyone else, success will follow. That if you put in the hours, take on extra projects, never say no, and grind yourself into dust, your boss will eventually notice and reward you. But here is the brutal reality of the modern workplace. Nobody is keeping score the way you think they are. Nobody is tallying up your overtime hours and assigning gold stars. Your boss has 30 other things on their mind, and the volume of your work is largely invisible to them. The promotable slacker knows this on an instinctive level. They know that doing 40 quiet tasks in the background is worth less than doing 2 loud tasks in the spotlight. So while you are buried in the weeds, perfecting that report nobody asked for, they are over there volunteering for the project the CEO mentioned in last week's All Hands. They are not working harder than you. They are working on what matters to the people who decide their future. There is a hierarchy of visibility in every organization, and most people never learn how to read it. At the bottom of that hierarchy is the work that keeps the lights on, the maintenance work, the cleanup work, the make everyone else's life easier work. That is usually where you live. At the top of that hierarchy is the work tied to the company's biggest strategic priorities, the initiatives the executive team talks about, the projects that get mentioned in board meetings. And the people who live at the top of that hierarchy are the ones who get promoted, regardless of how many hours they actually put in. So how do you actually identify the high visibility work in your organization? Pay attention to what shows up in your CEO's emails, in town hall meetings, in the company's quarterly priorities. Listen for the phrases that get repeated by leadership. The strategic initiatives, the transformation projects, the board-level metrics. That language is a treasure map. Anything tied to those phrases gets attention. Anything that lives outside of them, no matter how important it seems to you, is invisible to the people deciding your future. But it goes deeper than just choosing the right projects. The promotable slacker also makes the work they do as loud as possible. They send the recap email after the meeting. They post the win in the team channel. They drop the casual update in the one-on-one with their manager. They are constantly, gently, relentlessly reminding everyone in their orbit that they are creating value. And I know what you are thinking. That sounds gross. That sounds like bragging. That sounds like exactly the kind of behavior you have been trained your whole life to avoid. But here is the thing. If you do not advocate for yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. Your work does not speak for itself. Your work whispers, and you need to give it a megaphone. Which leads us straight into the second secret, and this one is going to sting a little. The slacker who keeps getting promoted has built a personal brand, and you have not. In any organization above 10 people, perception is reality. The decisions about who gets promoted, who gets the plum assignments, who gets fast-tracked for leadership, those decisions are not made by people studying spreadsheets of your output. They are made by people sitting in rooms talking about you. And what they say in those rooms is determined entirely by the brand you have built in their minds. Right now, your brand might be reliable workhorse. It might be safe pair of hands. It might be the person we go to when we need something done right, but quietly. And I have to be the one to tell you, those brands do not get promoted. Those brands get more work. Those brands get used. The brands that get promoted sound very different. They sound like rising star. They sound like future leader. They sound like the kind of person who could run this department someday. And the wild thing is, the brand is what gets you the title, not the other way around. You do not earn the leadership label by working hard. You earn it by acting, talking, and showing up like a leader long before anyone gives you the role. The people who get promoted understand this on a primal level. They delegate work, even when it would be faster to do it themselves, because delegation is what leaders do. They speak up in meetings about strategy and direction, even when their own output is mediocre, because that is what executives sound like. They take credit for outcomes, sometimes a little too aggressively, because owning your wins is what people in power do. Now, I am not telling you to become a credit thief. That is a one-way ticket to being despised by your peers, and the long game of your career depends on those peers. But I am telling you to stop deflecting praise. Stop saying it was a team effort when you were the one who carried it. Stop letting other people walk away with credit for your work because you were too humble to claim it. And before you object that personal branding is for executives, influencers, and self-obsessed types who post on professional networks every 6 minutes, let me reframe this for you. Building a personal brand at work is not about going viral. It is about being intentional. It is about answering with clarity the question, what do I want to be known for in this organization? And then making sure that every email you send, every meeting you show up in, every conversation you have with leadership reinforces that answer. Quietly, consistently, over time. Start small. The next time someone asks what you have been working on, do not just list tasks. Talk about the impact, the strategy, the bigger picture. The next time you finish a project, send a short, confident summary to your manager that frames the win as a result of your specific decisions. Over a few months, you will be amazed at how the way people describe you in your absence starts to shift. Which brings us to the third secret, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all. The slackers who keep getting promoted have made the right people adore them. Your career, whether you like it or not, runs on relationships. Every promotion decision ultimately comes down to a small number of people in a small number of rooms saying yes or no to your name. And those people are not robots evaluating you on a perfectly calibrated scorecard. They are humans with biases, preferences, and gut feelings. And humans promote people they like. I know that feels deeply unfair. We were raised to believe the workplace is a meritocracy, that the best work wins, that fairness will eventually prevail. But I am here to tell you, after watching this play out at every level of the corporate ladder, likability is not a tiebreaker. Likability is the game. The work just gets you in the room. The promotable slacker knows everyone. They know your boss's boss, the head of finance, the assistant who runs the executive calendars, the long-tenured manager 3 departments over. They have put in the time to build genuine rapport with the people whose opinions matter. They remember their kids' names. They ask about the trip they just took. They drop by desks, not to ask for anything, just to say hello. And when promotion conversations happen, those people do not just recognize them, they like them. They want to see them win. Meanwhile, you have your head down, doing your work, eating lunch at your desk, polite but distant with leadership, telling yourself that politics is beneath you. And I have to be honest with you, that stance is a luxury you cannot afford. Not if you want your career to actually go somewhere. The good news is that becoming likable at work is not a personality trait you are born with. It is a set of skills you can build. It is showing up to optional events. It is asking thoughtful questions in meetings. It is sending a quick note when someone's project goes well. It is being the person who makes other people feel a little smarter, a little more valued, a little more seen every time they interact with you. And those small deposits, made consistently over months and years, become the relationships that decide your future. And one more thing on this. Likability is not the same as being a pushover or a yes person. The most well-liked people in any office are not the ones who agree with everything. They are the ones who make people feel respected and heard even when they disagree. They have warmth and they have a spine. That combination is rare, and it is exactly what gets people promoted into roles where they have to manage and influence others. So here's your assignment after watching this. Pick one of these 3 secrets and start working on it this week. If you have been buried in invisible work, find the highest stakes project on your team and figure out how to get on it. If your brand at work is reliable workhorse, start showing up like the leader you want to be perceived as. And if you have been ignoring the relationship side of your career, pick 3 people in your organization whose opinions matter and start investing in them, genuinely and consistently. You are not lazy. You are not lacking talent. You have just been playing a game whose rules nobody bothered to tell you. And now you know the rules. If this video gave you a new way to look at your career, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button right now. I drop new videos every single week breaking down exactly how money, power, and promotions actually work behind the scenes. The stuff your manager will never explain to you. Subscribe now so you do not miss the next one. I'll see you there.